Next Thursday,
Welcome back, Dr. Gray!
Meredith's back.
Bailey rehired you.
I was going to tell you, but you were too busy dumping me. Get your residents together, time for rounds.
In a fall finale with one shock
You saw Richard having sex with somebody in his office.
after another.
This can't be happening.
And an ending that will leave you so on the edge, you'll be counting down the days till Grey's is back. Grey's Anatomy fall finale next Thursday on ABC.
Hey guys, so the penultimate episode for the mid-season finale of Grey's Anatomy Season 16 has just aired, and I have to say, it was one of the best episodes of Grey's Anatomy, period. The feels is how I would categorize this episode. It was amazing. I really loved it. So I have a ton of notes to discuss, and then we'll talk about the trailer. There's a chapter time in the video description to when the trailer review will begin, but let's just focus on Season 16, Episode 8, My Shot, Meredith's Hearing. Oh my God, such good acting on the part of Ellen Pompeo. This episode it blew my mind. I've been saying many times that Season 16 very much reminds me of Season 8, and I'm curious if the end of Season 16 might be similar to the end of Season 8. I hope not, but you never know. We haven't had a death in a while, so it's quite possible that someone could be dying. Anyway, let's talk about the episode. So, as I said, I have a ton of notes. I am going to focus on them because I want to just go in the order that I wrote everything down. It's just truly in the order of the way the episode played out. And the beginning of the episode started with the interns mentioning past events. And oh my God, that was pretty much what we could call this episode, My Shot, featuring past events, because so many things are brought up, so many flashbacks. And I just love how excited the interns got and how they talked about the LVAD being cut and the appendectomy that was botched by when Lexi was an intern with Meredith's friend, whose name I'm blanking on. I know they called each other Death and Die. I know Meredith was Death in that situation. So they mentioned several different past events, and that was great. So it started the entire episode. So Meredith's Hearing, they decided to go full force with the drama, and they brought in the actor, or the doctor from Dillard, who worked on Derek. He was the attending who was on call, didn't order a head CT, didn't do bird holes, and Meredith's lawyer was telling her to essentially be quiet and don't do anything, but oh my God, that didn't happen. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So we're going to go by like how this, the characters were called on the stand. Bailey on the stand was so freaking annoying. Like, I can't believe how awful she was. I know she had her reasons for firing Meredith back in season 15. It started the events of all of season 16. But she's so cold and so awful. It just feels really against her character. I'm currently rewatching I believe I'm on season 8 right now. And Meredith and Bailey have this amazing friendship. And I know in season 9 the friendship gets even stronger. And for Bailey to be so cold it's just so out of character. But then there was DeLuca on the stand, and that part was just very, very painful for me, just because I felt bad for him. Following that, we have Levi on the stand, and I have said many times I am not a fan of Schmidt. I think Levi is a really, really annoying character. I can't believe they brought him on for season 16 as a main character, because I just feel his acting abilities are very limited. However, this was the one time I felt very bad for his character, and because he ratted out Meredith, it's going to lead to an entire arc, or at least a storyline for his character. We don't know how. I don't really think it'll be an arc per se. Arc's generally when the character grows and changes. I doubt he'll change, except maybe get a stronger backbone. But he's going to be going through essentially a depression spell where he's really only going to be relying on Nico. That's my guess, because of what came out during the hearing where he ratted Meredith out, and now the interns have completely turned against him. And that was at the end of the episode, so I thought that was an interesting plot point. That's going to be most likely in 16B. I highly doubt that'll be brought up in episode 9. And then, again, just him on the stand was really touching. Owen on the stand, I have to say, was very lackluster. It felt a little like DeLuca, but DeLuca at least got like some emotions. Owen was just kind of boring, and I felt there could have been so many more scenes and stories that Owen could have brought up about Meredith, but I get what they were doing, but I just felt bad that Owen had such a limited amount of time. Richard on the stand, so sad. This episode just brought the feels, as I've said. And, he kept the lie from season 7 where he essentially told Meredith where Meredith, switched the placebo with the drug and for Adele. And the fact that Richard kept that lie for so many years is amazing. Just him on the stand was fantastic. The emotions, just his dynamic, it was so great. I really loved James Pickens Jr., such a fantastic actor. The Weber secretary on the stand, that was interesting, especially how we found out how Meredith was brought into the Grace Loan program, or at that point it was the Seattle Grace program. Alex on the stand I really liked, and then Meredith's outburst was fantastic. I mean, how could you not love how intense Meredith got? I mean, Ellen Pompeo's acting abilities were completely shown off here. I mean, I was blown away. So then, I really liked the twist where the doctor from Dillard passed out with a brain issue. I mean, that was, I think he had epilepsy on some level, but that was really, really cool. Just because it just adds to the drama. So overall, I really love that. I mean, her freaking out is the best scene of season 16 by far, and it's going to go into my top 5 scenes of Grey's Anatomy overall. I loved it. Now, I want to talk about Maggie and Amelia really quick. I felt like the two were a little out of place, which I thought was a little upsetting. At least at the start, you know, they felt that they weren't there, but that's because we were going through the characters who were on stand. But then Maggie and Amelia didn't even get to testify. I did like one of Maggie's scenes with Jackson. However, at the end of the episode, there's the potential for Jaggy, then the potential was crushed. But I still think the possible potential for Jaggy is there. I want Jaggy to come back. I mean, I felt that if you're going to get rid of April Kepner, Sarah Drew was amazing. If you're going to get rid of April, why would you not keep Jaggy? Anyway, Maggie also was mourning the loss of her cousin on some level, and she's really worried about her relationship with Richard. She cannot lose contact with Richard. Richard is her father. I'm curious how that storyline will play out. I did like Amelia's reaction to the doctor, to the Dillard doctor, and then Amelia mourning Derek, and then Amelia seeing the doctor die. That was really interesting. Again, a really cool twist. So, then we have the excellent scene of Bailey and Richard talking. And Bailey saying that Meredith betrayed her I found was so wrong, and I really dislike how cold she is. And thank God Richard's words finally sunk into her. And at the end of the episode, she made that fantastic speech. Now we're going to backtrack a little bit. Because Alex is so her person, because he brought that entire group of people to testify on behalf of Meredith, and it blew my mind. I mean, the music that played, Alex's acting, or Justin Chambers' acting was so great. And then seeing all those people, seeing Katie Bryce was excellent. Then to have the mentions and the actual letter that Christina wrote, but the mentions of Arizona, Callie, April, and Addison was so great. And then all this powerful emotion was able to bring Bailey to testify that Meredith is a good doctor. And then in the end, Meredith got to keep her license and she got her job back. It was such a rewarding feel. The episode, from start to finish, at least at that point, was amazing. The feels were fantastic. The acting was great. I mean, Alex and Meredith's relationship, even though they really spoke, is so strong. The potential for Levi's storyline, which I think is interesting because, as I said, I am not a fan of Levi, but his depression storyline coming up is really interesting to me. Maggie's storyline with Richard. And then another storyline we have is the potential breakup, or the actual breakup, because Meredith did say in the trailer, of Mariluka, which I do not accept. We spent so much of season 15 getting these two together, and then to have them break up is ridiculous. I get his point of why he wanted Meredith, why he wants to break up with Meredith, because he doesn't think that she views him as his equal, at least professionally, which she's not, but I think romantically she does. So I slightly get to Luca's point of view, but I think it should not affect their relationship at all, and I really hope they don't break up. They need to be together. Meredith, she has her person, she has her sisters. Let's give her the love interest as well. Let's give her the whole package. I mean, Meredith, she's earned it at this point. One more thing I want to quickly talk about is I really wish that Teddy got to do something in this episode. I mean, she's no Meredith in season 6 of the show, and the fact that she was kind of there in the background was a little upsetting to me. I love Kim Raver. I mean, she could have done some really good testifying scenes just because she knows about Meredith's history. Karasik operated on the doctor from Dillard, and he died, but Karasik was just kind of there to serve as the surgeon who operated. He really wasn't funny. It was a little upsetting as well. But this episode was so focused on Meredith, there was really no reason to give Karasik anything to do, and it really gave Teddy nothing to do. But we could have started a Teddy storyline. She needs something to do. I mean, we had Kim Raver on the show for 2 seasons now, and in season 15, her whole purpose was to really be just like an incubator for Owen's baby, which is sad to say. But let's give her a storyline. Let's give her a friend. I mean, it looked like there was a potential for Amelia to be her friend in that episode. Like, they could have had something to say. Just like one conversation would make me happy. But they're not using Kim Raver to the level that they should be using her. But overall, I thought My Shot was just a fantastic episode. Such great feels, all the flashbacks, all the emotion. I mean, this is why the show has been on for so long, because it's able to bring everything together. People have such great responses to it. It's just amazing. Loved it. Now, let's talk about Let's Go to the Bar, which the trailer was really good, but I want to read the episode description because it actually kind of blends a little bit of the trailer. And normally, the trailer and the description slightly match, but more or less, this trailer matches. The trailer matches the description. So Joe becomes a safe haven volunteer and gets a call that a baby has been dropped off at Station 19. Meanwhile, Meredith moves forward with her life after facing the medical board. Jackson takes a big step in his budding romance with Vic, while Bailey and Amelia swap pregnancy updates. Meredith is at the hospital. I'm so excited Meredith is back at the hospital. I mean, we've been waiting all of season 16 for her to come back. I love in the trailer, the intern's reception to it. And then her scene to Luca makes me shocked. So I do wonder how she will be treating Andrew, because, I mean, he broke up with her, but maybe there's potential for their relationship to come back. The trailer also included Maggie's panic attack. And I'm really wondering what's going to happen there. Teddy's involved. Maybe this will start a storyline with Maggie and Teddy. I mean, she just needs a friend. And I really love when Kelly McCreary gets to be dramatic. I loved her in episode 7. She was fantastic there. So I do wonder what the situation will be. And then from the trailer, it looked like Meredith is seeing the surgery, but it's too cut. Like, the room is not the same, and the scrub room would be darker, and Meredith was in a room that was well lit. So that's just editing. But what is this, like, intense climax? What's happening with Maggie? Will Meredith be involved? The story the description, says that Bailey and Amelia will swap pregnancies. Bailey is in the trailer, and Amelia is just smiling. Bailey just makes a cameo, and so does Amelia herself. So I'm guessing that maybe Amelia and Bailey will be like the B storyline, which is a little upsetting. But I mean, if they bring humor, I mean, Katarina Scorson and Chandra Wilson are hilarious in their own right. So I totally accept them to be a B storyline, but with like because they are like this big event that we don't know anything about is coming, you kind of want them to be front and center with Meredith. Then we have the scene of Jackson and Catherine talking, and I do wonder what's going to be going on with Catherine and Richard's relationship, and even, again, the potential of Jaggy. Because, Catherine is so tied to Maggie because of Richard, and her relationship with Richard is on the fence. So who knows what's going to be going on there. I mean, the scene of Jackson talking to his mother about Richard having sex, that was a little awkward. But, I mean, whatever. We need to see it play out in the entire trailer. So overall, or the entire episode, I should say. Also, what's interesting about the trailer is it seems to really hype up Station 19 because we've got a cameo of Ben. And in that cameo of Ben running, we see Joe. I believe it's Joe holding a baby. So that's more than likely the one scene from the trailer that's correlating to the episode description of Joe being a safe haven for the baby. So who knows what's going to be going there. I am not a fan of the Station 19 crossovering, or the Station 19 crossovers with Grey's Anatomy every episode, which was what season 16 was hyped to be, but thank God it's not. Unless you include like Vic's random appearances, but I don't consider that a full crossover. I'm guessing that this finale will be a crossover on some level. Anyway, I'm curious what's also going on with Joe. I mean, Camilla Luddington has some cool scenes in this season, but not enough. Overall, I loved the trailer for episode 9. I'm excited for episode 9 a lot, and I really, really, really loved episode 8 so much. So I really want to know what you guys have to say about both the trailer and the episode in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching my review. I am excited to talk about Grey's Anatomy episode 9 next week. I will be home to cover it at night like I did tonight. And if I don't have it covered, I will make sure to get the review out at least on Saturday morning. So share your thoughts, and thank you so much for watching. All right, guys. Bye.